What if I told you that some of the strangest scientific discoveries in history weren't celebrated, but quietly buried, not because they were fake, not because they were disproven, but because they were too confusing, too dangerous, or too world-breaking to talk about? And tonight, you are about to hear every one of them. This is 10 real discoveries so strange, scientists tried to hide them. Before we begin, backhand index pointing down hit like right now backhand index. Pointing down subscribe if you love real science mysteries, backhand index pointing down comment I'm watching. So YouTube pushes this to more curious minds because after this video, you will never look at science the same way again. The signal that should not existed was August 15, 1977. Astronomer Jerry Amon was reviewing radio telescope printouts, long lines of boring numbers. He scanned down the page and froze. In one column was a perfect sequence of characters, a signal 30 times stronger than background space noise. Exactly the type of signal scientists predicted an intelligent civilization might send. Amon grabbed a pen, circled it, and wrote one word in the margin. Wow. That moment became legend. The wow signal. Here's what makes it terrifying. It fit every rule for a deliberate broadcast. It lasted 72 seconds. It came from deep space. Not Earth, it never repeated, and no natural explanation. It's perfectly, not even today, so why didn't the world hear more about it? Because right after the signal, the telescope lost funding. The detection system was dismantled. SETI researchers later admitted they simply stopped talking about it publicly because no one wanted to be labeled the alien guy. The most perfect signal ever found, quietly swept aside, not disproven, just too uncomfortable. The woman who never died, Baltimore, Maryland. A 31-year-old mother name. Henrietta Lacks walks into Johns Hopkins Hospital with stomach pain. Doctors remove a sample of her tumor. But something impossible happens. Her cells don't die, they divide and divide. Forever. They become the first immortal human cell line. They are named HeLa cells, and they will change history. They become essential in creating. Heavy checkmark vaccines, heavy checkmark chemotherapy, heavy checkmark IVF, heavy checkmark gene mapping, heavy checkmark space medicine. And heavy checkmark and over 11,000 patents, but not once did anyone tell her family. For 20 years, they were kept in the dark. Scientists hid her identity because revealing it meant exposing a horrifying truth. The world's most important medical breakthrough was built on tissue taken without consent from a woman who died in poverty. Her cells lived forever. She was buried in an unmarked grave. The DNA that should not be there when scientists sequenced modern human DNA, they expected to find traces of Neanderthals. They did. They expected Denisovan ancestry. They found that too. But hidden deep inside our genes, they found a third lineage, not Neanderthal, not Denisovan, not modern human. A ghost species no one has ever identified, but everyone carries fragments of. Early papers on this were rejected. Reviewers literally said, "It is unbelievable to claim DNA from a species we've never found." But the evidence kept appearing. No fossils, no skeletons, only genetic fingerprints still inside us, meaning humans once bred with a species that no scientist can explain. But rewriting human history is messy, so for years the finding was downplayed, delayed, and ignored. The energy breakthrough nobody was allowed to believe. Two respected chemists walked on stage and said the words every world leader secretly dreams of. We have achieved nuclear fusion at temperature. Unlimited clean energy, no reactors, no radioactive waste. The world exploded. Labs tried to reproduce the results, but most failed. Within weeks, cold fusion was declared debunked. Careers were destroyed. Grants disappeared. The topic became a scientific curse. But here is what most people don't know. The US Navy kept researching it. NASA kept researching it. Multiple labs still report unexplained fusion-like reactions. They just stopped calling it cold fusion. No one dared publish it, not because all results failed, but because the topic was toxic, silenced, not disproven. The Psychic Intelligence Program, this one is not rumor. It is 100% confirmed by the US government. For more than 20 years, the CIA funded programs studying psychic abilities for military use. It was called Project Stargate. They tested remote viewing, telepathic targeting, mind-based intelligence gathering some sesh. Ins failed, but others were disturbingly accurate. One psychic described a crashed Soviet airplane, exact terrain, exact location, months before it was found. Another drew a secret military facility with frightening precision. The program was shut down, but when documents were finally declassified, something strange happened. Many of the most successful sessions were missing. A program director later said, the strongest results were removed before public release. Official answer, it was ink. Inclusive? Unofficial answer, no comment. If you think that was weird, we still have. Police car light a scientific discovery. Governments considered an existential threat. Police car light a fossil that forced scientists to rewrite evolution. So they tried not to police car light an evidence from the moon that simply disappeared. But first, if you're still watching, you're officially part of the 1% who actually wants real scientific truth, not watered-down explanations. So do this right now. Thumbs up like the video memo comment, I'm still watching. Pushpin it tells YouTube to keep recommending videos like this now. Buckle up. Because the last 5 discoveries are even stranger. The liquid that terrified world governments in the 1960s, Soviet scientists published research on something they called polywater, a strange form of water with higher boiling point, lower freezing point, higher density, different evaporation properties, a Nobel Prize winner warned, if this substance spreads, it could turn the oceans into gelatin. Western governments quietly launched secret tests. Then suddenly, funding vanished, research stopped. Scientists declared it was contamination. But here's the problem. To this day, some physicists argue the data never fully matched contamination. So why did every government suddenly drop it? Maybe it was nothing, or maybe it was too dangerous to study. Human-animal blending experiments, this is not science fiction. For decades, scientists have been creating chimeras, animals with human cells, mice with human neurons, pigs growing organs made of human tissue, monkey embryos containing human DNA. One experiment created mice with partly human brains. They learned faster than any mouse ever recorded. The results were not published. Why? Because ethics boards were terrified of public reaction. Today, scientists openly admit they are working on partial chimeras. But insiders say the most advanced experiments remain completely sealed. The fossil no one wanted to classify a creature with eyes on stalks, a claw at the end of its mouth, no clear relatives anywhere in evolution, the Tully monster. For 60 years, paleontologists argued about what it even was. Then in 2016, one team declared it was a vertebrate, a distant ancestor of ours. If true, the evolutionary tree collapses. Immediately, other labs rushed to discredit the finding. Papers were blocked. Researchers fought behind closed doors. Some data was reportedly withheld. To this day, there is still no consensus. Why such resistance? Because a single fossil can break an entire field. Chapter 9, The Missing Moon Recordings. Apollo astronauts reported many strange things. Radio signals coming from inside craters, reflective structures, private transcripts mentioning a presence watching us. NASA has never confirmed the anomalies. But here is a verified fact. Much of the original Apollo 11 footage and audio no longer exists. NASA has stated publicly that the tapes were recorded over to save storage, meaning humanity's greatest scientific achievement erased, accidentally or intentionally. We will probably never know. Why science sometimes hides the truth. Not every hidden discovery is a conspiracy. Sometimes scientists are scared to be laughed at. Sometimes institutions are scared of lawsuits. Sometimes governments are scared of panic. But history shows the pattern. X-rays were once dismissed as fraud. Meteorites were called superstition. Plate tectonics was mocked for 50 years. NEW ideas don't enter science politely. They are first ignored, then ridiculed, then suppressed, and only then accepted, until one day they become obvious. So how many discoveries today are being buried? How many cold fusion papers are sitting unpublished? How many DNA anomalies were never submitted? How many missing signals are filed under error because believing them would ruin a career? Maybe the biggest discoveries in science already happened and were quietly erased. Final CTA, if this blew your mind even once, thumbs up like this video speech balloon comment. Which discovery shocked you most? Mobile phone with arrow. Share it with one friend who loves science mysteries. And if you want a part 2 covering small blue diamond, the experiment that made scientists quit their jobs, small blue diamond, the discovery. NASA allegedly asked researchers not to publish small blue diamond The archaeological find that breaks history textbooks in half. Just type backhand index pointing right, part 2 please in the comments, because the truth is strange. And the strangest discoveries are the ones we almost never hear about.